Good morning and welcome to the 2023 South Carolina High School League Winter Sports Captains Course, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of South Carolina. I am Romanda Noble Watson, the Director of Communications and Public Relations with the South Carolina High School League, and I am delighted to moderate today's Captains Course. I know the information shared during this course will be enlightening for all of you and for all of us. Unfortunately, the commissioner of the South Carolina High School League, Dr. Jerome Singleton, could not be with us this morning, but I will bring you greetings on his behalf for a great workshop. And now, here to bring you some words to get you ready for today's workshop is Dr. Cottrell Rodan. She is the South Carolina High School League Director of Educational Services. Welcome in, Dr. Rodan.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is healthy, happy, and well. The league welcomes you to a great winter captains workshop. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick shout out. So welcome to our winter sports. I'm trying to get this thing to show. Here we go. Is it there? Yes. Welcome to the Winter Captains Workshop. So, welcome boys basketball, girls wrestling, and boys wrestling, as well as our many others. I've noticed that we had some other wonderful captains here. So, I just want to make sure that you guys got that wonderful welcome. So, let's talk about some logistics. While you're watching our dynamic speakers, I need you to do a few things. Number one, while you're watching, take great notes, right? So we want you to take great notes. If you hear something that really resonates with you, jot it down. And make sure you tell a teammate when you go to practice, because wisdom happens when you apply what you know. Number two, ask questions in the question and answer section. Make sure to put your name and the school if you want a shout out. And number three, and most important, enjoy. You know that we are glad that you are here. We see you, we acknowledge your hard work, and we are proud of the student athletes that you are. Now, back to our wonderful and amazing Director of Communications, Romanda Noble Watson. Have a great time, guys.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know I was all those things, but I'll take it. Now, thank you so much, Dr. Rodan, for getting us pumped and ready to go. Coming to the screen, excuse me, come to the screen to start things off for this workshop, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of South Carolina, is Miss Javonda Ronette Brown. Excuse me. Miss Brown is a native of Charleston, South Carolina, and she is often described as a charismatic, engaging, and empowering. For the past 8 years, she has led the Elite Ladies of the Fairfield County School District, a mentoring program for young ladies in grades 7 through 12. Under her leadership, the program has hosted 6 auxiliaries, various community events, and service projects, and has a 100% graduation rate. The program is designed to develop, empower, and equip young ladies in becoming effective leaders, change agents, visionaries, and entrepreneurs that will positively impact the schools and communities and encourage them to become the best version of themselves. A Geechee Gullah girl that uses comedic elements and life experiences to engage and relate to her audience has caused her to be a well sought after speaker, instructor, and host. Ms. Brown believes in taking a holistic approach to engage and empower willing people to reach their fullest potential. She firmly believes that walking out God's plan for your life produces supernatural results. Here to bring you insight on leadership and self-confidence is Miss Javonda Ronette Brown. Come on in.
Good morning, captains. I believe we have basketball and wrestling boys and girls on this morning. Let me tell you something. I am so pumped and excited to be with you all on this morning. And I hope that something that I share with you all will be very insightful on today. And so we're going to just go ahead and jump into it. If I can get it to present for me. Here they come. Yeah. Here they come. Here they come. Yeah. Here they come. Here they come. All right. So I started you all. That was old school. Okay. You may want to ask your coaches if they're in the age bracket Miss Brown is in, but it is a very popular song made popular by Black Sheep called The Choice Is Yours. And so if you look on your screen, you see someone at a crossroads in their life. And that is kind of what it's like. It's not kind of what it's like. It's exactly what it's like as a leader for your organization. You have the opportunity to choose either to do the right thing or to do the wrong thing. See, one thing about life is it's choice driven. You live, you die, you succeed, you fail based off of the choices you make. So I want to encourage you all to choose wisely. Leadership does matter. True leaders always practice the 3 R's: respect for yourself, respect for others, and responsibility for all their actions. I just want you to know, in working with the ladies and the different young people that I've been able to work with throughout the years, I've noticed that everybody wants to be in the front. Everybody wants to lead. Everybody wants the title. Everybody wants the position, but they don't fully understand the sacrifice that is required. They don't fully understand the responsibility of the that comes along with it, and that a lot of the weight of the team lies on the shoulders of you, the captain. And so I just want you to understand that your teammates are going to follow according to your lead. Okay, so you can't tell them, you know, you all need to be stretching, you need to be drinking water, you need to make sure you get enough rest, you need to watch what you post on social media, but then you're doing the complete opposite. So there is a weight, there is a heavy responsibility on you as a leader. And so I want to encourage you to be your authentic self. Something that they asked me to share with you all today is social media is just that. It's social media. It's not really embedded in reality. What I get to do on social media and on these social media platforms is to give you a representation of who I want you to think that I am. But I want to encourage you in this day and age to be yourself. And so I want to weave in self-confidence, because as a captain, you have to have confidence within your capabilities to lead your team. And let me tell you the secret ingredient. I'm about to give you the secret sauce on how you can be more confident. Prepare. My pastor likes to say, preparation time is never lost time. You know, I've had different leaders throughout the year. I've had leaders that I've worked with that can cram, okay? Then I have a different type of leader who has to practice every day, who has to look at themselves in the mirror, who has to make sure they understand all the plays. So the first thing I want you to do is recognize who you are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, because even as a leader, and even though you have that title as captain, you still are going to need your team in order to make the dream work. You are going to need your team in order to get those wins and those victories. You're going to need your team to be able to cover you even in those losses. So what you have to do in building your self-confidence, you also have to be able to engage and build the self-confidence of your team, to let them know, even if we're down at the half, hey, hang on in there, we got this. We're the baddest team here in South Carolina, in the nation, and then put in the work. More importantly, be more concerned of what you think of yourself than what others think of you. Because I want you to understand, they have this thing called haters out there. And I really don't call them haters. What it really is that they're really, really admiring who you are and what you bring to the table and wondering how they can get on your level. That's what it is. So I want you to understand, if people are hating on you or picking at you and saying X, Y, Z, yes, I want you to self-examine, but I also want you to realize that sometimes people pick, discourage, and do all those things to chip at your self-confidence, to chip at your self-esteem. So stop comparing yourselves to others. Stay focused on you. Lead by example. Be positive. Look at the good in every situation. Focus on improving yourself. Don't get all in your feelings when your coach tells you, you didn't do that right. You need to fix this. Relax and go with the flow. Enjoy your high school years. Enjoy this opportunity for you to be a captain. Follow a schedule. You feeling overwhelmed? You got basketball, wrestling schedule. You got your regular academics. You got your social life. Some of you may even be working. You're going to have a schedule. You're going to have to write that thing down in order to keep yourself from being overwhelmed. Okay? Hope I'm helping somebody. Here's some tips for building your self-confidence. Accept yourself. Accept yourself. Again, be your authentic self. Don't try to be the last captain that was the head of the team. Be your authentic self. You could take different parts and pieces, but it's time for you to set your name or your brand. It is your season. It is your time. Practice positive affirmations every morning when you get up. Say, I am a great leader. I lead by example. I make great choices. I am easy to get along with. Say those things every morning to yourself. Connect with your higher self. I don't know what your faith level may be, but you have to have someone who is going to hold you accountable. You're going to have somebody that is going to keep you in the middle of the road so you don't get the big head and then think it's all about you on the team. Okay? Set small, manageable goals. Adopt a healthy lifestyle. You shouldn't be vaping. You shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be smoking. You have to protect your vessel because it's needed in order for you to be successful as an athlete. And again, avoid comparing yourself to others. Let's move on. Social media is your digital footprint. If I don't get anything else over to you all on today, understand that social media is your digital footprint. And people like Ms. Brown, who used to work in HR, who used to do research for companies before they hired someone, it was my job to go put your name in Google and pull up any and everything on you. So I say that to say this, captains, do not allow people to film you. Do not allow people to put posts and tag you without your consent, because you are a brand. You represent your school. All right. And so I have a little clip here.
171 over Notre Dame. For our producer, Terry Callahan, our director, Mike Roy, Andrea Carter, Holly Rowe, the Hall of Famer, Rebecca Lobo, I'm Brian Russo. Monday Blitz is next on ESPN.
So I love this clip because I'm old school. Okay. Dawn Staley, because some people were a little like, oh my God, she popped her on national TV. They're in Paris. Dawn Staley is a brand, a multi-million-dollar brand. And what she has been trying to convey to her players is that you're a brand. Advertisers are watching you, and people have certain perceptions. So believe it or not, even though you have a coach, you represent your coach, you represent your high school, you are a brand. And you don't know what opportunity you may be offered or what opportunity you may be passed over as a result of how you present yourself, how marketable you are. So that's why I want to encourage you all again to understand and realize that you are a brand. Okay, I see this question real quick. Cottrell, I don't know if I'm supposed to answer it or not right now, but I'm going to go ahead and answer it because the question says, what do I feel? What do I do if I don't feel confident that day, but I have to be a leader to my peers? Let me tell you something. That's when you got to dig deep. That's when you got to let your coach know, hey, I'm feeling a little off. That's when you got to let your ace know. Okay, on my dance team, we have what I call my leadership squad. They're the diamond squad. And what they do is they're so in tune with each other that if one of them is off, they'll pull them to the side. Hey, what's up? You off today. I got you. I'll do warm-ups today. Another one will say, you know what? I'll take the girls across the floor today because you off. We got your back. So if you don't feel like I can properly lead my team because I got stuff going on at the house, I just broke up with my girlfriend or boyfriend, or we just got in an argument, coach done came down on me hard, I'm in my feelings, I can't properly be the example that I need to be for my team right now, that's when you get with your aces. That's when you get with your inner circle and say, hey, I'm off today. Coach done chewed me out. Because we do that. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but we do that. We get on you. And that's only because we want you to be better. Okay? It's what I call character building. Okay? So you lean on your aces. And even if you look in this video, you can tell that Coach Staley had already talked to them about don't be throwing up signs. What y'all throwing up signs for? We are a brand. And there are certain perceptions that people have as it relates to athletes. So protect your brand at all costs. I hope I answered your question. Your brand, your standards. Be honest, be respectful, lead by example, take responsibility. If you drop the ball, if it was your fault, own it. Your team will respect you more. Set boundaries. You know, I want to go hang out, but I know I got a game. Because understand, you as the captain, you have more to lose than anybody else on your team. Realize that everything isn't shareable. Again, I go back to do not let people tag you, record you without your consent. Be accountable. And before you make a decision to do something, ask yourself, what is this going to cost me? And is it worth it? Protect your brand, protect your name, protect your standards. That's all I have for you all today. If you have any questions for me, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brown. So the 3 R's: respect for yourself, respect for others, and responsible for all of their actions. And the biggest thing that I take away, and I try to tell anyone who I mentor, is protect your brand. Be mindful of what you put out there and what's you don't want nobody to destroy what you have built up. That's the biggest thing. We thank you so much for coming.
Can I say one last thing?
You can, absolutely.
And this goes back to self-confidence, because adults deal with this too. So I don't want y'all to get a like, love, Share or follow does not equate self-worth or value.
Very good.
I just want to let you know that, okay?
Well, thank you so much. So we're going to switch things up a little bit, and we're going to bring in someone who knows the SCHSL very well. We're going to bring in a senior basketball player from the University of Alabama. The 6'10" forward hails from Beaufort, South Carolina, where he was a standout player at Royal Branch Early College High School, the class of 2020. He received a scholarship to Wofford College, but later transferred to Dodge City Community College, JUCO, prior to receiving his scholarship to the University of Alabama. Please welcome in Mr. Nick Pringle. Nick, thank you so much. I know that, it was difficult for you to get in here, but we truly, truly, truly appreciate you fitting us in your so busy schedule between your games and your practice and your film session. And I'm sure you have lifting. So welcome in and just share with our viewers some of the things that you may have gone through as a SCHSL player and where you are today.
Oh, really? It's really been thank you. I appreciate y'all for having me. But it's really been, exciting. I'm kind of multitask right here because I'm trying to, get ready for practice too. But I really appreciate y'all having me. But it's really been a great journey, just to be a part of. Coming from South Carolina, Royal Branch Early College High School. I mean, it's a small place. A lot of loving people. I mean, but you just really build that confidence from the village that you have behind you, the people that you surround yourself with, and you just build that confidence, and they just always push you to do the best you can possible. So the most thing I say, really just going through my journeys from freshman year to senior year is really just who you surround yourself with, getting help, asking for help, and just allowing yourself to be as successful as you can possible. Really, I went through a lot of, ups and downs throughout my career. Starting from my freshman year, I wasn't really, focused in the classroom. The classroom is number one, priority if you go to school. So I really say that, it's been really beneficial for me to, ask for help and do little things, to help me take, greater strides to be successful. So not hanging my head about, my first year. I went to JUCO. My JUCO year, it was, very successful. I took the time to, lock in and, just try to reestablish myself, as a person, as an athlete, as a student. And it all really worked out for me. I mean, I found myself, getting recruited by, 20 to 25 schools, and Alabama being one. I mean, Alabama, I mean, it was a talented school. So, I mean, having that, and understanding where I was at the moment, like it really kind of helped me and benefit me to like choose my spot and where I wanted to go. I wanted to surround myself by people that I felt like that was better than me, that I feel like that I would get my maximum potential from. So I did that last year. Last year I played more of the vocal role of, not playing much, but having to learn, and I really came in with the mindset thinking I knew it all, but it was really more than that. Just listening, learning how to listen, learning how to comprehend certain things. I mean, that really just helped me, build my character, build my response, not being so much reactive but proactive, and that really helped me. So I mean, bringing that into this year, I'll say me taking more of the role of adding, me being a vocal leader last year, not playing much and stuff, to this year being more of in a role, having to show guys what to do, having to tell guys, oh, I know this already, so let me help you with this. So it's really, it's really a great experience. I mean, I wouldn't take back anything that I went through in the past, because it's like it was really like a game changing experience for me, honestly. It really just helped me become a smarter person, just better with people, just interact with, and have better goals within everybody around me. So I really just say that, but just really just trying to stay positive and continue to have a growth mindset while leading guys. It's just really, really great to me, honestly.
thanks for sharing that. One real quick, because I know you're getting ready for practice, but the one thing I want you to share with those the captains that are watching is, what was your motivation to not give up when you felt like that things, like you said, you talked about your freshman year and not being what you thought your freshman year should be. What motivated you to keep going, to be able to get those 20 or 40 or 50 offers later on down the stretch? Uh-oh, lost them.
I would really say, just, you know, having something to do it for. I mean, I use my brother, you know, for example, I lost my brother back in 2018. So that was, you know, like a life-changing, you know, experience for me. I had to, you know, find something to do it for. Like I had to find a new motivation, find a new, you know, way for me to, you know, try to, you know, maneuver over things that I felt like that was tough for me mentally. So just having people to do it for. I mean, not necessarily saying you have to have something bad to happen, but just knowing in the back of your head that you got people watching, you're a role model to a lot of people. And just like, I just had the mindset, like, I can't fail for the people that I got in my city. Like, you know, South Carolina, you know, a lot of people, you know, we don't really make it from there because, you know, a lot of people don't, you know, they don't believe in South Carolina people. So, I mean, that's why you know, I want to set a big example, you know, on the biggest stage possible to show guys and show people that, you know, you can do it. Like, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's not an easy task. I mean, you have to, like I said, surround yourself, you know, with the right circle, the right people, you know, just have a growth mindset. I mean, you always want to sit at the table with somebody that can make you better. So I'll definitely say that. So that's a big part for me.
As you put your last shoe on, I got just one last question.
For sure.
What was an obstacle you faced in high school that have made you a better player and person to be at the University of Alabama?
Obstacle in high school. I would probably say, in high school, let's see.
Think back.
Yeah, it's been a little minute now. I think I'd say just well, I mean, really, I kind of explained a little bit with, like, with my brother, like that happened my like 10th grade year. So that was pretty tough for me, and I mean that I had to, you know, change and make adjustments towards that. But, you know, having, you know, like a circle, like I said, and, you know, my teammates, you know, just taking in teammates, really making sure, you know, you lead your teammates on the right way, because you can be a leader on the court, but off the court, you have to do the same thing. I mean, like you said, I heard you talking about social media. Like, I mean, but like, there's a lot of people that's still in Beaufort that I knew, you know, personally, that's still there. And I mean, you know, that should be a difference. I mean, like, there's a lot of people, you know, back at home that's you know, in trouble and stuff like that. But I'd rather you know, be vocal, let them know, you know, you got to get out there, you got to do something better for yourself. You got to, you know, even if they don't even play sports or anything, I don't know more. But, you know, social media, you know, that's a big impact onto today's society. So that's what I'll say.
Well, Nick, we're not any longer. We truly, truly, truly appreciate you taking this little bit of time that you did have to come and just give our captains a little bit of insight and encouragement as the season going. And we want to wish you good luck throughout your season as well, and hope that you know, it's a healthy one and a successful one for you and the University of Alabama.
Okay, I thank you. I appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And now, closing things out this morning is Master Sergeant Daniel Danny Allen. Danny currently serves as the Crime Prevention Officer and Assistant Public Information Officer for the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. He is a native of Beaufort, South Carolina, where he was a 3-sport athlete at Beaufort High School. After high school, he attended Tennessee State University and was a member of the track team. He earned his bachelor's degree in sociology from Francis Marion University, a master's in criminal and social justice policy from Coker University. In 2006, Danny began his career with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office in the Northern Patrol Division. He later became a school resource officer, or SRO, as you all know, serving at Battery Creek High School for 3 years and later at Well Branch Early College for 5 years, school that Nick Pringle graduated from. In 2021, he was honored as the SRO of the Year for the Low Country and State of South Carolina. He has stints as a communications liaison, CALA accreditation officer, and team leader for the crisis negotiation team. He's an adjunct professor for the Technical College of the Low Country. Danny is the president of the Beaufort chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. He is most proud of being a husband and father of 3 great children. Welcome back, Master Sergeant Danny Allen.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And before I even share my screen, I want to say that I started smiling when I saw Nick get on. I know it was a challenge for him to try to get on today, but I want everybody to know he really felt it was important to try to get on, and he was thankful for the opportunity, especially since just a few years ago, even though it feels like it's several years now, he was in you all same shoes. So I do want to share my screen, so give me a moment. While I do that, I do want y'all to know I wasn't Nick's actual SRO. I was his brother's SRO, and me and his brother had a good connection. Matter of fact, he used to joke around, and every time he saw me, he said, "What's up, Big Nose?" So it was sad when his brother was lost, but at the same point in time, Nick did use that as something that really pushed him, and he still pushes them. And I also want to say in his favor, his 12th senior year in high school, didn't even go off to college yet. He started his own way of giving back to his community and started doing basketball camps for young kids at the same high school that he graduated from and his brother graduated from. And that's something he's continued doing even as he's gone off to the 3 different colleges that he's been at. So you never can start off too young doing leadership quality things like what he has done. So with that said, again, like they said, I am Master Sergeant Danny Allen with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. Here's my contact information if anyone ever wants to reach out. I do believe I have it up in the end too, but feel free if anyone ever does want to reach out to me. So before I go on anything else, I want to start off with my kids. Y'all heard them say that I was a 3-sport athlete myself. And I'm very proud that I was able to compete in different levels. But you know, that time's behind me, you know. But it did give me an opportunity as I've mentored several young men and young ladies, which I'll show you a picture in a moment. It gives me the opportunity to kind of know what they're going through. But I also feel like I know what they're going through because I also live through my children. So this is my oldest 2. My youngest is a 6-year-old. She's starting in karate and does dance and other things. But my oldest 2 are the ones that really keep my house busy. My son's a 3-sport athlete as well. Just finished his football season. He runs track, but in the theme of this season right now, he's also a wrestler as well. And my daughter, she's big into dance, competition dance, and also modeling as well. So, you know, I also feel that I kind of know what y'all are going through or some of the things that y'all are facing because of the connections I have with my kids. And before we go any further, I don't know who you live with. Guardian, wherever it's your mother, father, or someone else, but have some good, strong connections with some adult in your life. Wherever that's, you know, coaches, mentors, your parents, even if it's older siblings or older cousins or family members that may have had other experiences and can also help guide you through the things that you may be experiencing. Because I promise you, it may not be exactly the same, but they have faced some of the same things you too are facing. So I told you I mentor a lot of young men. You just heard from one. You know, most of these guys, even if I just hear from them, you know, once a week or a few times a month or a few times every few months, I do try to reach out and check with several of them. A lot of them have gone off and doing some special things. If you look right in the middle in the gray uniform, that young man, one of my former students at Well Branch, he actually plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL. And so I try to stay in contact with a lot of these young men and give them some positive words. Again, it may be once a week, once a month, or something else, but, you know, I know that is also important too. So again, have those connections with folks that may be able to help steer you in the right direction in a positive way. So here's a question for you. And I just want you to think about it, but what are some things that you want to do? What are some things that you want to do in your life? Where do you want to go? What is your next step after high school? You know, a lot of you are playing sports now, but you may say, I may not play any sports after high school. So what do I want to do? Do you want to go into the military? Do you want to become your own entrepreneur? Maybe you already have something in the works. Are you wanting to go off to college? We have a lot of great colleges right here in the state of South Carolina. We have, of course, a lot of great colleges throughout our nation. But a real question is, where do you want to go and what do you want to do? Now, after you ask yourself that, ask yourself, are you doing the things that you need to do to help get you where you would like to go? Are there things that you are doing right now that could prohibit you from getting there? Today, I was asked to talk about social media in a sense, in a law enforcement standpoint, but to tie it back to our athletes or tie it back to our students, tie it back to our sports. And so something I want you to think about is how can what you're doing today, social media, or even if you're not the one posting it, what you may be doing that may be filmed and posted on social media, because we post everything nowadays. Could that be something that prohibits you from gaining what you want or getting where you want to be? So here's a few quotes. These aren't my quotes. These are some quotes that I found that were posted by different coaches. Some of you may have heard or read these ones before. So one from a D1 football coach said, recruits, social media matters. I have now dropped 15 recruits this year because of their Twitter posts, likes, or retweets. Explicit images, racist words, and demeaning posts are unacceptable. Your thumbs are killing your opportunities. Here's a message from a Penn State coach. Dropped another prospect this AM due to his social media presence. Actually glad I got to see the real person before I offered him. Here's one from a Duke coach. Our jobs depend on the young men that we recruit. Your social media pages say a lot about your character, discipline, and common sense. And here's one from an SMU coach. Came across an awful Twitter account today. Shame. The kid was really a good player. On to the next one. Get a clue. Something I want y'all to understand, especially those that want to go off and play sports and become even greater leaders. You're in competition. There are hundreds of thousands of athletes out there right now, and only a very small percentage of them get the opportunity to play on the next level. You're in competition with all of them, and you're not just in competition with your class. Those of you that are in class of 2024, maybe some that are in class of 2025, you're not just in competition with them. You're also in competition with the kids who are in JUCO. You're also, or the junior colleges. You're also in competition with kids who are already in college that may be at other locations. I'll give Nick and use him as an example. He was a great athlete. I want you to know he wasn't 6'10" his whole high school career. I think when he first came to Well Branch as a freshman, he may have been 5'8", maybe 6 foot, had a growth spurt. I think when he graduated, he may have been like 6'6" or something like that. He grew while he was in college. He grew to 6'8". And for some reason, he found some good juice or something. Now he stretched out to 6'10". But even him, as tall as he was in competition. And so you heard from his career. He was recruited and got a full scholarship to Wofford. Didn't do what he was supposed to do. Some of us would think, oh, the coach is going to work with us. Wofford is a school that is high on his academics. You don't do what you're supposed to do, I can cut you. Get somebody else. He ended up at a junior college. Someone else may have given up. He worked his butt off at that junior college, but that's not where he wanted to stay. He was only there to get himself straight, to get to the next place. And he ended up in a bigger, better place. But how many other kids would have loved to play for Alabama? Alabama has been winning their SEC conference in basketball. And they were one of the ones that they thought would make it to the Final Four. They're in a good spot right now to do the same. There were other great kids, great athletes who want to get there. But are the things that they're doing things that could prohibit them from getting to that next level? Now, that's not saying something you may be doing may end it all. You still have to work hard, but you have to work that much harder to get there. But you're in competition. And just like some of these quotes from these coaches show, one simple thing, one bad post, curse word, fighting, or just something else inappropriate could be the thing that stops you from gaining what you really want to gain. So what are some things about social media you need to understand? Folks, posts don't go away. I know some of these platforms say that their things will go away within 24 to 48 hours. That's a lie. For the most part, you may not be able to find it at first, but once you put it out there, somebody can get it, or it's saved somewhere. Or you really can't control what others are doing with that content once you put it out there. Now, some people will say, well, this social media site or that one, it will tell you if somebody records it. But somebody, like I have two phones. What if you have some friends, one person's watching it on one phone while the other person is recording that on another? You don't have any control over that, and you won't know what they've done with it. And once you have put that content out there, it's probably going to be shared on multiple different ways, or can be. And even though you delete it from one way, it's already out there for others to use. So please understand that. Be mindful of what you post or what you are included in, because posts don't go away and can be found. Dangers of posting pictures and information. Look, you have to be very careful. There are stalkers out there. There are people who may wish to do someone harm. There may be folks that will harass someone. So you have to be mindful of what you're posting. What's in the background behind you when you are posting some of these things? Are you in your bedroom? Are you in some other room? And you're showing some of the things that are important to you that somebody else may want to break in and steal, or may give them clues of where you are or what you may be doing. So you do have to be mindful of that. And again, you don't want to be showing anything that is giving up too much of yourself, or it can be seen as inappropriate. So be mindful of that. You can hinder future opportunities. I've kind of already hit on that, but I have seen people be turned down for jobs because of their social media posts. You can be turned down from different schools because of social media posts. Unfortunately, one of the young men that I'm working with right now, he is going through a legal battle with his school. He was starting on their football team. He was talking about something he didn't need to. Had a misunderstanding or argument with one of their friends. And then that friend no longer was a friend, and they went and said everything that they had said before, jokingly or not, which prompted an investigation on them. And right now, they're suspended from their team, suspended from their school, and they're dealing with some other legal things, all based off something they were talking about. So that can also hinder them from future opportunities. Because again, once you get in trouble, that is something that can be found too. You could deal with charges and school disciplinary issues. And of course, embarrassment. You know, it can be very embarrassing if you get in trouble for something that you're posting, or if the wrong thing is posted. So please be mindful of who you're dealing with, who you call your friends, because it may not be something you post. It could be something that one of them posts. So just since we talked about some laws, what are some laws that do affect our youth, especially our high schoolers, as it pertains to social media? Assault and battery. As you notice behind it, it says threats. You can be charged for making threats on social media or through text or something else, even if you are not in the same location as that person, even if you can't physically touch them at that point in time. If it can be proven that those threats can be carried out, or if they're continuous, you can be charged for threats, and it would be labeled as assault and battery third. There are student threat laws that every school district has to have in place, and that goes along with state law, and those law enforcement officers do have to carry that out. You have something called unlawful communications. Folks, you can't just send a message to someone and continue to send messages to them if they don't want it. If someone tells you, stop texting me, stop sending things to me, you better stop. Because after they have told you to stop texting them and you continue, you are now breaking a law. And that law is called unlawful communications. Basically, someone does not want to be contacted by you in any form. That could be social media, text, phone call, or other alerts. And you continue to harass them in that sense, then you can be charged with that. You have harassment, which also includes cyber stalking and cyber bullying. If they can prove a pattern, meaning you are continuously contacting them, even if you're doing it in multiple different ways, and they can prove that you're doing that, you can be charged with one of those charges. And of course, you have sexual exploitation of minors, first and second and third degrees. You cannot be sending sexually explicit or other images or messages to each other. I know this is something that is done a lot, but you have to be very mindful of that, because once you have done that, especially all of you are under the age of 18, you are now actually contributing to child porn or pornography. And so even you sending it to someone else, you are now actually contributing to that. And again, you cannot control what someone does with those pictures. So let's say it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, sending pictures to each other. Everything's fine until you break up. And then somebody starts sharing those pictures. Then what happens? And so please do not share those pictures with anyone. Because again, once you hit send, you can't control that, and someone can be charged. You also have charges stemming from the South Carolina education section. There are prohibitions to certain conduct like bullying or carrying or delivering out challenges. That has been a big problem with social media, is everybody wants to be involved in these different challenges. And if those challenges do lead to injuries, lead to death in some senses, or even lead to some type of public interference, wherever it's at school, wherever it's at games or other things, where you, in a sense, are not only interfering with like a school day, but also potentially putting others in harm, you could be charged with something like that. So please do not follow up with these challenges. Have common sense. That is the main thing. So again, please be mindful of some of these things. You know, just an example of some of these laws are posting any footage of an illegal act on social media, even on personal or private accounts, can have serious legal consequences in South Carolina. Even if you didn't engage in the unlawful activity yourself, meaning you just filmed something or you're just sharing something that others have done. Depending on the type of crimes that have been committed, you could face criminal charges such as harassment, stalking, or fraud. So even just reposting things that other people have done can get you in trouble. An example of a charge, cyber stalking. Okay, cyber stalking can lead to significant legal consequences and can be punishable by a maximum fine of $2,000 and or a maximum prison term of 2 years. And so some of these other crimes can have larger fines and larger prison terms. So please be mindful of these different things, because you don't want to harm yourself, harm others, or prohibit your future opportunities. So those are some of the different things, but here's the main thing, folks. We want you to be smart and we want you to be safe when on social media. Again, you can't control how the content that you put out is used once you've put it out there, but you can control what you put out there yourself. You can try to the best of your abilities to control what you are included in. Talk with your friends, talk with your peers, and if you see them with the cameras out, videos out, and you know it's something that ain't need to be happening, you need to get out of there, and you need to tell them to put it up too. Be the leader that you need to be. Make sure you're being a good example, but also say something to your friends, because some of them don't have the guidance that some of you have. Some of them aren't getting this information that you are getting. So please make sure you're sharing it, and always be thinking, am I doing what I need to do to get me where I want to be? So any questions? And did y'all see if any that came up?
No, I didn't see any questions, but so the one thing that always resonate with me is the cyberbullying and the time that you can get. So is there an age limit, or how does that whole thing work? How long will they, if they are caught cyberbullying, what are some of the years that they can get as a cyberbully?
So it can be because when we're talking about charges, you have your initial charges, someone being placed under arrest, where depending on their age, do they go to Department of Juvenile Justice, or what we know as DJJ? Are they locked up as a juvenile? Are they tried as an adult? And they actually are put in an adult prison system. What courts do they go to? So that's the first part of it. When it talks about the actual fines and the prison terms, that would be after court. And even though there are locked in amounts, like the one I just showed you, the max is $2,000, and that's just for cyber stalking, I think it was. And the max time frame is 2 years. It really depends on the judge of how much time someone actually may get. So even though that's the max, they may be knocked down a little bit less. So I don't know what the actual amount of years is for bullying, but at the same point in time, you have to factor in everything else. Once you are charged and arrested, that doesn't go away.
Right.
And even though people say, okay, well, what if you're a juvenile? You have the juvenile arrests and, the juvenile charges, and others won't be able to see that. That's not necessarily true. When you go off to college, you have to fill out state forms, and they're asking certain questions. That can be something that hinders you. So that could be something that hinders you from going off to college. Those of you that want to may go into the military, they're not going to accept you if you have certain charges behind your name. And even those that may even want to be entrepreneurs, you may be filling out certain things for grants or loans or whatever else. That may be something that hinders you. And I even heard Ms. Brown say earlier, as far as people following people's social media posts and other things. Well, if somebody got arrested for it, you better believe somebody's going to post it that they were arrested for it too. And so even in those searches, they may find something like that. They may not actually find in the background check, but they may find it on that social media post. It may have even been something that's been expunged, meaning it was supposed to go away, but it never really does. And again, that could be something that hinders them. So that maximum, I say all that to say that maximum fine or that maximum prison term actually goes a lot longer than just those 2 years or 1 year or a few months, because it could continuously hinder them.
Okay, and we actually do have a question that came in our question and answer. How often does this happen to teenagers? Their age was the question.
That really can depend on locations. That can depend on what's going on in that time frame. I would say it happens a lot. It happens often. Not as often as I think some of us is least not law related. Not as often as maybe it's put out on TV or other things. A lot of folks are dealing with stuff secretly, and they don't really say it. Some things are handled at the family or parent level. Some things are handled in the school level. And then, of course, when it comes down to this, the highest will probably be law enforcement. So when it gets to my level, it'll probably be less than what is at the school. The schools will deal with a lot more. But there are a lot of folks that are dealing with this stuff in secret. They may be smiling when they're really hurting. And so it happens more often. And where does it stop at? It really needs to start with the stopping with you, the youth. If one, you making sure you're checking yourself, that you're never treating someone the way you wouldn't want to be treated. But also two, checking your friends. It's so many times we know our friends are doing something they're not supposed to be doing, and we follow up with it. So in a sense, we're just as bad as them. And there are folks who are truly hurting from it. And so it happens quite often, but maybe on different levels. But we never know how the smallest thing could affect one person, where a large thing may not affect someone the same way. But I would say if you know something like this is happening, please make sure you're passing it on to someone, some adult, whether it be a parent, someone at the school as well. But make sure you're passing it on. But be those good leaders, be those good friends, and make sure you're not the one doing it, but also make sure your friends aren't doing it either. And if you're going through something, please make sure you say something.
Well, thank you so much. And those are actually all the questions that we have for Ms. Brown and Master Sergeant Allen. We truly appreciate you for joining us once again and presenting this information to our captains. And I know for a fact, I know for myself, I got something from both of you all, and I'm sure that our captains did as well. But we just can't thank you enough, because that is such valuable information for the student athletes to take with them, to take away, especially on social media, that once it's there, it is there for keeps. So before we end our webinar, it is always important to let you know the happenings of the SCHSL. There is a lot happening over the next 2 weeks. This Saturday, November 18th, will be the SCHSL competitive cheer competition at Colonial Life Arena. The competition gets underway at 10 a.m. Tickets are $15 and can be purchased at gofan.co /SCHSL. And beginning November 30th through December 2nd, the SCHSL will host its 2023 football state finals at South Carolina State University. Tickets for the state finals can also be purchased at gofan.co. To stay up to date on all things at South Carolina High School League, be sure to visit the website at www.schsl.org. Thank you all so much for attending today's Winter Sports Captains course, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of South Carolina. I truly hope that you have gained some valuable things to take with you as you begin your seasons, and we wish you all good luck this season. Thank you, and have a wonderful holiday season.